With regard to the issue of political competitiveness, if a person in the public were to look at the plan over the last 24 hours to try to determine whether the plan was fair and not partisanly drawn, what analysis would you suggest that they go through to determine whether the plan was fair and non-partisan?
Well, Representative Hortman, political competitiveness is not one of our principles in guiding us in drawing the map.
So Representative
Representative
Anderson,
Hortman.
did you review any political data on the map?
Representative Hortman, when we looked at putting together this map, our guide was the principles that you have within the amendment that we have before us today and that we passed off of the House floor. So we looked at the equal population, we looked at communities of interest, we looked at minority representation, we looked at keeping counties, cities, and townships whole, contiguity, compactness, all of that was a factor in putting together the plan.
So Representative
Hortman.
Anderson, then are you saying that you did not look at any political competitiveness data regarding this map?
Well, Representative Hortman, our focus was on those principles that were passed by this legislative body, and that's has been our focus from the get-go. I know that the governor wanted to have incumbent language in there, and we didn't want to include that because we wanted this to be the focus of these are the communities within the state of Minnesota, and we want to have a fair plan for the entire state. Representative Hortman.
So Representative Anderson, did you ever look at a spreadsheet of all the districts with some information about political competitiveness?
Representative Hortman, as I outlined to you, we followed the guiding principles that were passed by the House.
Representative Anderson, does a spreadsheet
Representative Hortman.
exist summarizing, in your view, the
Again,
political competitiveness of the districts that you've drawn?
Again, Representative Hortman, I told you time and time again that we looked at the guiding principles that we have passed as a legislative body in putting together this plan that we have before us today, and I'm hoping that you can support it.
So Representative Anderson, are you saying that you have not looked at any spreadsheets that analyze the political competitiveness of this map?
Representative Hortman, have you put together a plan, and what is your plan? What have you provided as far as feedback goes? Because as we have gone through this whole process, we have repeatedly asked for your input, specifics, and I've gotten 2 comments, and both of those comments have been incorporated in this map today. So what is your feedback in drawing the lines of this map? Can you tell me that, Representative Hortman?
Representative Anderson, my question was, does a spreadsheet exist that
And
analyzes the
Representative Hortman,
political?
my question to you is, what is your plan? What do you have as a plan for us to look at? What are your actual map concepts on the state of Minnesota? Can you tell us that, Representative
It's a pretty
Hortman?
simple question. It's a yes or no. Have you reviewed a spreadsheet that analyzes political competitiveness of the districts that you have drawn?
And as I stated, we followed the guidelines that were passed by the House, Representative Hortman. And those were equal population, those were contiguity, compactness. We were looked at communities of interest and keeping counties and cities and townships as whole as possible, minority representation. All of that were factors in putting together this plan. So my question to you, Representative Hortman, and I think it's a simple one, what is your plan?
Representative Garofalo, have you seen a spreadsheet?
Representative Hortman, what is your
Analyzing
plan, please?
the
I asked you
political-
a question.
I think that I have the floor.
And
I was asking Representative Garofalo a question because I wasn't able to get one from the chair. And I'm wondering, Representative Garofalo, if you have looked at a spreadsheet that analyzes the political competitiveness of the districts that have been put before the public.
Representative Hortman, I'm recognizing you right now, and I asked you a question. So Representative Hortman, can you tell me where is your plan?
Representative Anderson, I think that the process really matters. So I wouldn't be putting forth any sort of a plan until I got sufficient public input. And it would be impossible to get sufficient public input on the timeline that you provided. You noticed this committee hearing for today on Friday at 4:30. The plan that you produced was produced on Monday at 6:30 p.m. And as you know, we were in tax committee until 10 p.m. So in order to get any public feedback on any proposed plan that I might offer as a counter to your plan, I would have had to do that between about midnight last night and 6:30 today. And Representative Anderson, there simply wasn't time to get that kind of input. But what I'm really concerned about is that you're not willing to answer a pretty straightforward question. And what the public would like to know, and I think it's pretty clear, that they want to know whether we're drawing maps that favor one political party or another. And I know you have stated that this is a fair map. So what I'm asking is, what is the methodology that any member of the public could use to determine, to take you at your word, that it is in fact a fair map and not a partisan map?
Well, I appreciate your comments, Representative Hortman, that you're basically saying that you have no plan. I do appreciate your honesty on that. Representative Garofalo.
Thank you. Madam Chair, Representative Hortman, you want to restate that question to me again?
Representative Hortman.
Representative Garofalo, well, I wasn't done yet. I mean, if that, I hope I didn't indicate I was ceding the floor. But the question is, have you reviewed a spreadsheet analyzing the political competitiveness of the districts that you have drawn?
Representative Garofalo.
Madam Chair and Representative Hortman, no.
So then the question is,
Representative Hortman.
has anyone in your caucus analyzed how many of these seats that you believe would be likely to be won by Republicans or likely to be won by Democrats in an election?
Madam Chair, Representative.
Representative Garofalo.
Madam Chair, Representative Hortman, do you need some help drawing a map? Is that
No,
what-
I just have
No,
some
I mean,
questions about the one
Representative
that's out
Garofalo.
there.
Floor, hold on, okay? Now, you guys are going to put out a plan, or you're going to put out a map, or you're not going to. Okay? Now, if you're not going to do it, that's fine. Just fess up and say it. Okay? We've had numerous conversations in this committee about the issue of political competitiveness. And it's a variable that the DFL party has been unwilling to assign to. You today, in previous testimonies, stated we should use minor constitutional offices as that index. We had a testifier say the exact opposite. We had Mr. Dean come before this committee tonight and suggest we should use 2010. He came up with 2010 gubernatorial data. You take that and you overlay it over 2006 senatorial data, it gives you vastly different results. The notion that voters have static opinions and have a static model for how they're going to vote is ridiculous. So, Representative Hortman, I really, really hope, on behalf of the 47 or 48% of the citizens of the state that have a DFL state representative in their district, I hope you guys come up with a plan, because that's what they're paying you guys to do, and you're not earning your pay right now.
Well,
Representative Hortman.
That's why I'm asking these questions, to analyze your plan. You'd like my vote on your plan. I'd like to know some more information. I wanted to know what work you did to determine whether the school districts, which I think are really important communities of interest, might be together or might make some sense within the legislative districts we've drawn. In order to determine whether the map is fair and nonpartisan, I was looking for some analytical information that a person would use to make an objective determination if the map is fair and nonpartisan. I have another question in determining whether I'll vote for the map tonight or not, and that is, when, Representative Anderson, when you were drawing the map, did you have the incumbents' addresses, plotted onto the map, or did you not have those on the map when you were drawing it?
Representative Hortman, in putting together the map, we followed the guidelines that were passed by the House, and those guidelines didn't have anything to do with incumbents. The guidelines were equal population, compactness, contiguity, communities of interest, minority representation, and also keeping counties, cities, and townships whole. Those were the criteria that was passed by the House, and that was the criteria that we followed in putting together this plan.